Alright, the bad portion of using the phone to do this is I got a phone call, so we gotta start over. Alright, so again, your dog already knows it down, we already showed that a second ago. Our next step is starting to work towards what I call a settle and getting your dog to lay on their side. Right there, you should be clicking. Alright, do you see how your dog's hips move to that side? So you should be clicking for that behavior. And you're also in an awkward position. Okay? One thing I did not mention when I was working with Ember, just like humans, sometimes a dog will have a left and a right cue. So they may like to lay on their left side versus their right side. So work with that. If you can't your dog get them to lay on the right, then teach them to go onto the left. So what you want to do is, again, go with your hand a little bit slower. Can I come in?
Yep.
So we're going to take, Max. So I'm going to go a little bit slower, and I'm going to bring, oh, there we go. Almost. There we go. All right, so keep it a little bit slower, keep the food right there in front of their face, and kind of move their head over, and then they'll kind of get not uncomfortable, they'll kind of start to wobble, and they just kind of lay over. Nice. And you were slow on your click, but you got it. All right, can you let go, remember? So the next step here, guys, is we actually want our dogs to lay on their side, okay? And what I mean by that is completely on their side. Again, I'm going to still lure them, so I get there. Now that she's on her side, I'm going to bring my hand down so that her head is actually on the floor. So she's literally on her side. Okay? Same deal. Once I get my dog into that position, and this is something new to Ember, I have not trained this with Ember. Alright? Once I start to get, I can do that probably 10 times in a row, I'm going to start telling her side. And then that'll be that cue. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, you can stop for a second. Next, guys, we're going to teach stand. Stand is relatively easy to teach. Sometimes it's hard, though, to keep the dog in that position because many of us have taught our dogs a default sit. That they should sit every time they're around humans, to be touched, to be petted, to greet, all these different things, to eat their food. So sit is a behavior that works for dogs. They get a lot of food for it. So again, I could, if I'm just shaping my dog, if I'm walking around and she's stand, good job. I can actually click for this behavior and I'm starting to give it to her. But I actually want to put this on cue. Now, no toys. Come here. So I'm going to start in a sit position. Now you can do this on the side of your dog, you can be in the front of your dog when you get started. I'm going to take that food and I'm going to get them to stand and I'm going to click and treat. Okay, sit. And again, same thing. I'm going to do that. Once my dog is comfortable doing that, I'm going to start to give it a command, stand. Okay? The other way to do this, because like in rally and other different types of exercises, obedience, it's nice to have a stand. Sit. On the side. Now it's a little bit, I think it's easier in the front. Once you start coming to the side, I'm going to take a step forward and kind of bring my dog forward to teach them to stand. Okay? We'll get to try to practice this in a little bit. We only got a few minutes. I want to try to get this done. The next one, Ember, come. Good girl. Okay? And then I'll let you guys practice at the end of this. The next one is targeting your hand. I actually do not use the word target. I use touch. The reason I use, to me, they're two different things. Touch is more of a human type, touching my hand. Okay, where target is, I have a target plate and I can throw it and go say target. Again, whatever words you want to use, it's acceptable as long as your dog knows your cue. Now, there's two ways of doing this. Again, most dogs are extremely curious. All right, just by me putting my hand out, and my dog comes over and touches. All right. Now she does no touch, so okay. That's one way of doing it. If you can't get your dog to come to your hand, probably one, your hand's too far away. Keep it really close. I almost never do the second method. Sometimes I'll take a nice smelly treat in my hand and I'll actually put it in there. And when they touch, I'll go ahead and click and treat and give them that, okay? As I start to do this more and more, like now this is just simple, I'm going to start to move my hand, okay? I'm sorry, I actually want to backtrack a little bit. I didn't tell you, again, same principle. I get my dog to do this, the touching, about 10 times, 12 times, then I start bringing in the word. All right, once I start to get that word into place, touch, okay, I get my dogs to jump, touch. Oh, I'm supposed to click? I mean, I clicked, I'm supposed to treat it. But I can start doing little weave things. I can start getting my dog touch, yes, okay? And you can really do a lot with that. Any questions on touch, guys? Or in this case, for the badge terms, it's called target. Okay, so our next one is weight. I like to use a door to do a weight. On some of the training standards within the DSA training list, you can put a couple cones out, and for this, we're going to use that. Just thought I gotta grab the cones. Hold on. All right, guys, our next one we're going to be teaching, Ember, I'll do this with holding on to her, is a weight command, okay? To be honest with you, I'm going to do this method. I would not normally teach somebody this method. I like to use a door. All right? Yeah, do I want to do this with an exterior door? No. But I can use it for a bathroom door, a bedroom door, any other door. All right? And the way I like, so the reason we have the cones here is to give the dog a visual that they're not supposed to go past. So I'm going to start walking my dog, Ember, with me. Wait. Now wait, stay. Again, Ember knows this. Now I'm going to come, wait. I'm going through the door, and I'm coming back and treating. All right? Good job, Ember. Good wait. So how am I going to teach this? All right? You guys know how I'm going to teach this? No. I'm going to put you on the spot. What's going to happen, Ember, is I'm going to start, like I say, if I have a door, you can actually use a body blocking method. All right? But I don't really want to push the dog. I don't want to touch the dog. It's more of, Ember, wait. If she starts to move forward, I'm just going to kind of get my body in front of her. Wait. And if she's waiting, even if it's for a split second, I'm actually going to click and treat. All right? So there's that body blocking method. I also like using just closing the door in their face. Again, I don't mean slamming it in their face. All right? I do think it's easier to use a door that pulls this way if I need to close the door. So if I'm going to go out a door, I'm going to start to open it. If she starts to go, I'm just actually going to close it. Again, more of a shaping type of thing. I'm not going to tell them to wait. I'm just going to start to open up the door. All right? The door starts to open. If she stays there, I'll click and treat. Even if I only open it an inch, then I'm going to open it 2 inches. All right? If she gets up and starts to go for it, I'm going to close it in her face and get them to realize, no, I cannot go through that until I have permission. And that is the biggest thing you have to remember. Once you get to that point and you get that door fully open, you need to tell them, okay, release them to go outside. Now, wait is different than stay. Wait, when you're doing a wait command, is basically they cannot move forward. So if I'm going to go out and get groceries out of my car, I'm going to leave my house door open. Ember, if I go to get groceries out of my car, I can open up the door, walk outside, say, wait. Guess what? My dogs can go anywhere else in the house that they want as long as they don't go forward through that door. So there is a difference there. Okay? A lot of people will tell their dogs, stay, then they'll walk out and close the door. Well, guess what? You just taught your dog, yeah, I'm going to have to stay, but I'm going to get up whenever I want. So that can hurt your long-term stays. That make sense, everybody? Any questions there? Cool. Okay. All right, guys. Next, we're going to be politely asking our dog to get out of our way. I was going to say something else, but I'm not. But so what I've done here now is much easier to actually teach this in a hallway when there is limited room. So what I've done here is I've actually just taken some gates and I'm using the wall just so I can actually show you guys here. You can see because of the gate what's going on and all you guys can watch. So the way this kind of starts is you just want your dog standing in front of you. You're going to come up and you're going to be able to just tell them, excuse me. As soon as they start walking away from you, going the other direction, you can actually go ahead and click and treat. All right? You really do not want to touch them if you can help it. Use your body and get into their personal space, so they just kind of move out of your way. Some dogs won't do that. They're going to say, I don't care how close you get to me. And in that case, I would just go ahead. You can kind of nudge them a little bit, try to get them to go, but you're really not trying to push them. You definitely do not want to kick them, hurt them, or anything else, of course. Come here. So basically, you're just going to start with the standing position. You get the dog in front, and you're going to go ahead and go, excuse me. All right, and eventually you want to get that to the point where the dog will move a little bit faster. Okay. All right, now here's not too bad. Could I walk around my dog? Yes, but I want to walk right by her because there's something else here. Amber, excuse me. So as she's walking away from me, I can click and treat. Okay, so that's kind of the starting of that. And as you get better and better, your dog should know, hey, I need to get out of the way. All right. Now, a lot of times what happens is the dog is actually going to be laying in the way. And that's a little bit harder for the dogs. Amber, come. Em, down. So here, she's really going to be in my way. She's going, I don't want to get up. I'm tired. So I'm basically going to come, Em, excuse me. Excuse me. And again, here she's going, I don't want to move. So I may have to, come on, let's go. Excuse me. Come on. Em, yes. Good girl. So then as soon as she gets up. Now you can see I nudged her a little bit. I didn't really push her, but I kind of got right into her space and actually moved her legs a little bit. Now if you actually continually work with that, your dog should learn on cue, hey, it's time to move. I got to get out of their way. All right? Now sometimes in my house, when we've got 4 Australian Shepherds running around or laying around, I hate to say it, we just walk over them. But it is nice to have that command on cue. Okay? Any questions on that, guys?
Nope.
Okay, cool, thank you. Alright, our last one that we need to work on, manners-wise, is what happens if your dog's on the couch or something, or on a chair, and you can use this if a dog is jumping on somebody, sitting on somebody's lap. We want to teach them an off command. Alright, my dogs are not allowed to get on the bed unless we give them permission, so we tell them okay. But the opposite is also true. If we want them to get off the bed, we can tell them off. So in this case, all I really have here in the room is this table. So we're going to use this with Ember. Ember, up. Okay? So now what I want to be able to do, stay. Now I can either use food, or in this case, she is so toy motivated, I'm actually going to use the toy. And what I'm going to be doing is at first, I'm just going to kind of lower her up. Okay. So I can click and I can throw the toy and let her play. Yay, what a good girl. So now I'm rewarding her with toys versus food. Now next I can go ahead, and I can lure her off again. And I got to be careful with Ember. If I threw this, she would literally just jump up. So I'm trying to keep this low. Ember, off, yes. So there we go, actually you can play with it again. Yay, good girl. Em, come. Up. So with me, working with toys and clickers is always a little bit harder because I'm always thinking I just want to play. But again, as the dog gets off, I should be clicking as they're playing. Now if I'm going to use food, I can do the exact same thing and just lure, M, off. So when they get off, I'm going to click and treat. Up. Ember, off, click and treat. Then eventually, Ember, up. I'm going to go. Alright, so again, as we get better and better, I'm now just going to be able to start telling the dog, Ember, off. And I'm actually going to put the toy away because she wants to play. Come on in. Up. Ember, off. So then I'm just going to click and treat as she gets off. Ember, up. Ember, off. Alright, and I'll just play this little game. Any questions on that one, guys? That one's actually, I think, an easy one. And as long as you're consistent with it, you do this all the time, your dog learns that command pretty good. Cool, thank you.